Welcome in everyone, it is Wintertide, the event has just started, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the special event guild boss Leppaludi. Now there's not much special about this boss, to be honest. He can expose you with his basic attack. He is resistant to weaken and vulnerable to acid. I wouldn't really worry about that stuff when we're talking about getting high scores anyway. The one thing about this boss is he is troll type. He is one of the two troll type guild bosses. The other one is for the troll hunt event. If you play warrior class, you've got choices here now. We can use Urmas or we can use Queen Krita. So this video is about which one is the best and which one will work best for you to get you the best high score. If you don't play warrior class, if you don't have a warrior side build or whatever, it's just going to be a matter of using your class nuke, which is the highest damage dealer that you have in your class. So for mage it will be Vordrai or Balendu. For rogue it will probably be Kira or Wei Feng. Stuff like that really. But if you play warrior, you've got options here. Now, these are all warrior charms on my build, and I'm going to show you the Urmas method first. With Urmas, his base power, it is comparable to Queen Krita's rage power, but it has recoil, so you're going to need some defense charms. I'm taking my mythic gear, which has got 4 armor charms, and I'm taking recovery potions and heroism potions for this method, because it's all to do with the base powers. And you pair Urmas with Nijiro. Now the best thing about this combo is if you have them both max stars, their max star perk is to give warrior heroes 30% crit chance. So if you have them both and they're both max stars, that's 60% crit chance, which is considerable. And taking into account that Queen Krita shards are nigh on impossible to get, it's likely that your Urmas is going to be higher stars than Krita, and that's going to come into play when we talk about the scores as well. But you can't go full glass cannon with Urmas and you can with Krita, so you've got more potential for more damage there, but it depends on what kind of setup you're running and how many hero charms you have available. I'm using a low level weapon with this. This is my boss weapon. It's got focus and expose on it, and in the first rounds obviously we have to get 2 rounds done in 1 move each to provide 2 moves for each of the subsequent rounds. So for the first 2 rounds I'm using heroism potions and just whacking him with Urmas base. Then in the following rounds I will have 2 turns for each round, so I can expose with the weapon comfortably, heal with Nijiro or a potion, and then finish the round with Urmas base power. There is a specific way to use your actions with the Urmas method, so watch closely here. You can punch on round 3, but it's a little bit sketchy. It leaves it really low health if it crits, so I didn't bother punching this time. But as you can see, I swung the weapon 4 times to get that expose, because expose is ultimate attack, which is the 4th action, and then healing with Nijiro, and then finishing it off with the Urmas base to end the second turn. And you just keep doing that really. If Urmas does crit a lot, it does get a little bit sketchy where you might die, but I would alright in this one. The more hero power you've got, the more damage Urmas will do, which means the more recoil damage you'll receive. But then also Nijiro will heal you for more as well, so it's kind of balancing it. The one piece with the 4 armor charms, it seems to work well for this. I've got 455% warrior power, and Nijiro is healing quite a lot and helping cover the recoil damage that I'm receiving from Urmas as well. And then in round 5 and 6 my health was getting quite low here, so I used the recovery potions instead of Nijiro base power. And these are the purple recovery potions, which is quite important to note because Urmas does deal a lot of damage at this sort of hero power that I'm using. And on round 7 it doesn't really matter if you die. On round 7 though, you can get away with using a hero rage power. I wasn't confident enough to use the Urmas rage here, because if it crits it can leave him really low health and even finish it off sometimes without using that base power to finish it off. So I went with a Nijiro rage power to deal a little bit of extra damage and then finish it off with the Urmas base power. And I got a pretty good score, to be honest. It is reliant on the crits and stuff like that once you have got a build together like this. But 9 million on a boss like this is not too bad. And then now I'm going to show you the Queen Krita method. Keeping Nijiro, Queen Krita is only 3 stars. My Queen Krita is only 3 stars because I'm not getting these shards at all. Swapping out to the Maverick Gauntlet. I'm going to take the skin off it just for the sake of the video. And this is where that boss weapon, that low level boss weapon, really comes into play. I'm going to swap the heroism potion for rage potions as well, because it's not about the base powers this time. That is one good thing about Urmas, it's all to do with the base powers, so you can use heroism potions. And I'm going to swap the mythic body with the defense for a side piece, which has got an extra 80% warrior charms on it. So now I am full glass cannon, no defense charms whatsoever. And obviously, because there's no recoil from Krita, I'm able to go full glass cannon and add a lot of extra hero power. So it kind of makes up for the difference in the stars as well, because my Urmas is 7 stars, Queen Krita is only 3 stars. So that's 40% just from the stars alone, and I've just added 80%. So it's actually a little bit stronger. But again, it's to do with what kind of build you have available as well. If your Urmas is got more stars than your Queen Krita and you're not able to go full glass cannon like that, your Urmas might well be better to use than Queen Krita. So for this one, in the first 2 rounds I've used the potions to get a rage off, and then exactly the same method, I'm just using the weapon to get exposed on the 4th action and then rage in the 2nd turn. And as long as you do that, you're going to be absolutely fine. I've got Nijiro there for the 30% crit chance. And then all you have to do is charge rage and expose in the 1st turn, and then deal as much damage as you can in the 2nd turn and rage at the end. And as long as you keep doing that all the way through to round 7, then you're going to get a decent score. It's dependent on your build and dependent on your RNG for getting the crits and stuff like that. This one was actually a really good run. Once you get into the routine of doing this, once you've got the weapon together and the build together, and you get into the routine of doing this for every boss, it becomes second nature then, and you will start getting high scores on all the bosses. Now, Queen Krita is Valiant. I could have took the Valiant Gauntlet, but then I'd have to start using the base powers to get rage, because I'd have no way to generate rage there, and these event bosses are squishy. So even though I could get an extra 30% damage from that gauntlet, it's not worth it, because it's going to be suboptimal to gain rage and stuff like that. Round 7 is the only round I can comfortably use a Queen Krita base power without killing this boss at this amount of hero power. So it's just not optimal. And the Maverick Gauntlet, usually 9 times out of 10, is better than any other option there is. But you need the weapon to make it work. As you can see here, using the Queen Krita base, 180,000 damage, and it didn't even crit. Finishing it off with a Krita rage. And there it is, that is my personal best for this boss so far, 11.7 million. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have been James B09. Good luck out there.